Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the second round series in the Honda West Division between your Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. A little bit of a changing of the tide in this series, and we'll be taking a look at that series in this video. So let's get right into things. So the first two games in Colorado really couldn't have gone any better for the Avs. The Colorado Avalanche win game one by a score of 7-1. They absolutely dominated in game one over the Golden Knights. And to be honest, it really wasn't even close. Cale Makar got that game going. He gets, I guess they turned the goal into Mikko Rantanen's goal. Mikko Rantanen scored. Landeskog scored. Saad, McKinnon, Landeskog again, McKinnon. Yeah, so we saw a 2-goal game from Landeskog, a 2-goal game from McKinnon. Pretty much the Golden Knights' worst nightmare going into game one, and it came true. And to top it all off, Cale Makar scored, making it 7-1. It was pretty dominant through the first part of this series for the Avalanche because they would continue that in game two. A 3-2 victory in overtime. Saad got a goal, Yost got a goal, and before you know it, it's 2-2, a late goal by Riley Smith late in the third period. Riley Smith ties it, and then Mikko Rantanen just a little over 2 minutes in OT, and we are done. And now it's a 2-0 series lead for the Avs, and all they have to do is steal probably one game in Vegas, and they could go home in Game 5 and potentially have the Golden Knights up against the wall in an elimination game. Unfortunately, Vegas was not too kind to the Colorado Avalanche. And that win in Vegas was going to be a harder task than maybe the Avalanche thought. Going into Game 3, like I said, they had all the momentum, they had all the juice. And to be honest, for the first two periods of the game, they had this game. William Karlsson would score a second of this series, and he got the Golden Knights on the board in the second period. Carl Soderberg, of all people, tied the game at 1. And then in the third period, the Avalanche take a 2-1 lead, and it seems like they should have this game. Philip Grubauer looking really solid once again. And then, to be honest, shit hits the fan. A little over 5 minutes left in regulation. The Colorado Avalanche give up a late goal. Jonathan Marchessault, who has been on fire this series, Marchessault scores his second of the postseason, a huge goal tying the game up, and 45 seconds later, who other than Max Pacioretty, his second of the postseason, and just like that, a 2-1 lead for the Colorado Avalanche that they had held for most of the game, now turns into a 3-2 win for the Vegas Golden Knights. What a performance by the Vegas Golden Knights. At the end of the day, they were able to get things done despite not being the better team for the majority of that game. And give a lot of credit to Vegas for sticking that one out. Despite, all the odds really going against them going as this game went along, they were able to get some momentum in key points, and they were able to win a huge Game 3. Because if Vegas loses Game 3 at home, this series looks pretty miserable at this point for the Golden Knights. But they're able to get the victory. So now they have a little bit of steam going into Game 4. And they followed that right up. For the most part, it was a pretty close game. Brandon Saad would score early on. A couple minutes later, Marchessault, his second in 2 games now, his third of the postseason. Max Pacioretty on the board again in the second period. So now it's a 2-1 game for Vegas. Again, it looked good for Colorado early, and then they started to lose their ground. Then Jonathan Marchessault, his second of the game, his third of this series, 3 goals in 2 games. And just going into the halfway mark, after the halfway mark of this game, 3-1 Vegas. So now going into the third period, you have to assume an early goal here by the Avalanche to maybe push back a little bit. That didn't quite happen. Marc-Andre Fleury stood on his head and was the difference maker in Game 4. Marchessault again, his 5th of the postseason, his 4th of the series, 4 goals in 2 games, and a hat-trick goal for Jonathan Marchessault, his 3rd of the game, and it is now 4-1 Vegas. And then things get a little interesting down the stretch. A couple minutes later, is this Patrick Brown? Patrick Brown The fourth line goons getting on the board as Patrick Brown from Ryan Reeves and William Carrier, the fourth line, picking up a late goal. And that one had a little controversy. The first, they reviewed it, and you saw what was going to be happening. They were going to review if the puck went in the net, which the referees couldn't tell at first. Very, very visible when you look at it on, the playback. Obviously, it was a goal. All right, so call is a goal. It went across the goal line. And then Jared Bednar and the Avs knew at this point you had to take a chance because it was either you let them take it or you're going to lose the game. So they knew they had to take it. They had to take the review on goalie interference. That's exactly what they did. They lost it. They took the 2-minute penalty, and that's pretty much it. The Avalanche just could not get anything going. The fans there in Vegas were absolutely insane. And you look at the shots, the Vegas Golden Knights pretty much outshot the Avalanche, outshooting them 35-18, so they pretty much doubled them in that category. The power play of the Avalanche was dead silent, 0 for 2 tonight, or 0 for 2 last night. And even in Game 3, when you would think maybe they would be, getting a little bit better, again, 1 for 2 on the power play. So, again, that's pretty solid. But at the end of the day, it's a loss. And now the Vegas Golden Knights going into Colorado, they win this Game 5. This is the series. Because now whoever goes back to Vegas with that 3-2 series, the other team is going to be up against the wall. And Game 5 is a huge part of a series. We'll see if the Avalanche are able to get things done, turn the tide here in this series. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think of this series between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche? I wish this was a 9-game series because I think people would be tuning in for it. But this is a great series so far. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.